On the news tonight, ECOWAS leaders meet over recent coup in Burkina Faso. Residents of Ijebu ode urged to take advantage of the continuous voters registration. Cleric warns youth against desperation to get rich. Good evening and thanks for joining us on the news tonight, reaching you from the studio of NTA Ijebu ode. My name is Joel Mukbola. Now the news in details. An extraordinary session of the Authority of Heads of State and Governments of ECOWAS on recent coup in Burkina Faso has ended with a demand for an immediate return to constitutional democracy. President Muhammadu Buhari participated at the virtual engagement convened by ECOWAS Chairman and President of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu has that report.
The takeover of power in Burkina Faso on the 24th of this month was characterized by the arrest and detention of President Christian Kabore and other senior government officials, as well as the dissolution of the country's parliament. For Nigeria, this situation, which followed the examples set in Mali and Guinea, is a bad signal with negative consequences on the democratic challenges that West Africa now faces. It believes that the gains of democracy in the sub-region will be reverted.
We condemn the coup and asking for immediate return to constitutional order, the release of the president and anybody else who's being detained, and to cooperate with ECOWAS and to be part of ECOWAS decisions.
At the closed-door engagement, President Muhammadu Buhari and other ECOWAS leaders took turns to critically analyze the situation in Burkina Faso and gave suggestions on the best way forward. ECOWAS, they admit, is at a very complex and dangerous crossroads, hence the need for effective collaboration, cooperation and decisive steps by member states towards reversing the military action in Burkina Faso and paving the way for a return to constitutional democracy.
That the chiefs of defense staffs of the ECOWAS member states should head tomorrow to Burkina Faso to assess the situation from a strategic, also military angle, and to be followed immediately by a visit of a team of ministers of foreign affairs of ECOWAS countries, again to assess the situation and then report to a meeting of the heads of states.
What happens if those demands are not met?
Well, that will now be for the summit meeting. To now, that's what I'm saying, take a definitive decision, because they would have had the benefit of the input of the chiefs of defense staffs, the benefit of the input of the ministers of foreign affairs who would have gone there, and then they will be in a position to now take an informed and definitive decision.
The heads of state and government say they are determined to move ECOWAS away from the critical crossroads in favor of sustainable democracy, good governance and development. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, has formally handed over the newly constructed UBEC Model Smart School to Sokoto State Government. Shehu Mohammed Dati reported that the school consists of pre-primary, primary school, junior secondary school, ICT training and sports facilities. This report.
Handing over the school to Governor Aminu Waziri Tambol, the Executive Secretary, Universal Basic Education Commission, Hamid Boboye, expressed optimism that with the support from the Sokoto State Government, education sector will achieve the needed development in the state. Dr. Boboye noted that the project was realized with the support and cooperation of the state government. He applauded the state government's commitment towards returning out-of-school children back to school, which he said has revived the education sector in the state. The newly constructed UBEC Model Smart School, which is among the 37 of its kind in Nigeria and the first to be completed, will transform the nation in global education competitiveness. Dr. Hamid Boboye said state government is responsible for recruitment of teaching and non-teaching staff, provision of adequate security, as well as the maintenance and sustenance of the school, while UBEC will provide training, solar system, internet connectivity, and teaching and learning gadgets for proper coordination of learning in the school.
The idea of constructing smart schools across the country comes from our determination to contribute toward the realization of our goal as a nation to make education the cornerstone of our socio-economic development in our country.
Governor Aminu Waziri Tambol said education has been the machinery for the development of any society. Tambol noted that the demands of education are enormous, especially now that people are desperate to acquire both formal and non-formal education across the state.
This facility we are receiving from UBEC today will no doubt complement our giant strides towards improving teaching and learning, especially using ICT, which has become the world order.
Sultan Muhammad Saad Abubakar said the school will provide ICT knowledge to the prospective learners. He commended the federal government through UBEC for providing such edifice for the state, calling for more projects that will have direct impact on the lives of the people. The UBEC model smart schools across the nation are expected to commence operation between August and September this year. In Sokoto, Shehu Muhammad Datti, NTA News.
Eligible voters in Ijebu ode and environ are taking advantage of the opportunity provided by the continuous voter registration exercise to update their records and register afresh ahead of the 2023 general elections. Correspondent report that the exercise so far has been itch-free. The reports.
Just as the political parties and their prospective candidates are preparing for 2023 general elections, the electorate are also bracing up for the election by performing their civic responsibility. In the ongoing continuous voter registration exercise, Ijebu ode office of the Commission is gradually becoming a beehive of activities, with eligible electorates trudging the office on daily basis for various needs such as card replacement, transfer and fresh application. Many residents of Ijebu ode have already taken advantage of the exercise.
And the work has been very active and progressive. And we believe that at least with this kind of officers, we are going to have a positive result at the end of the exercise.
Then I encourage them that follow me. That's why by the time you do this thing, everything is better. People come to change the unit, polling unit, to another polling unit.
They should all go out and have one. As a Nigerian, it's one of our obligations to our dear country. We have so many, it has so many advantages. The government, you may want to have something from the government. It's one of the requirements from the government to have anything we want to have. It is very, very important that every Nigerian should have one.
I have my permanent voter's card in preparing for the 2023 election.
Electoral officer in charge of Ijebu ode, Mr. Ahmed Olaitan Ojikutu, says the CVR is in line with the provisions of the Electoral Act, noting that INEC is partnering with all relevant stakeholders to sensitize the electorate to improve the turnout.
You've not been online to do anything as regards this exercise, you can as well come to our office. You just walk in and let us know what you want. If it is fresh registration, we will start afresh for you, then you will get registered. If you want to transfer your registration, all you just need is to come to our office. If you can't go online to commence the exercise, just walk into our office. We will give you a form to fill. Then we will transfer you to the polling unit of your choice. So probably some people, maybe after the last registration or their last registration, they got married, they want to change their name, or they want to change their name for any reason, they will come to us. Then we'll give them the necessary form to fill. So we'll effect the change for them as well.
The CVR is expected to end in July with possibility of extension.
You're still watching the news at 7 on NTA Ijebu ode. The news continues after this message.
Atiba University, AU, in God we trust. Atiba University, knowledge our light to the world. Knowledge we seek, knowledge we give, knowledge our creed, knowledge our key to change our world, make it a better place. God has strength, knowledge our key. Atiba University, AU, in God we trust. Atiba University, knowledge our light to the world. We learn to live, we learn to lead, we learn to excel and be.
You're welcome back, and now to religious matters. As the quest for materialism and shortcut to wealth continues to be in the front burner, Muslims, especially the youth, have been reminded that hard work, obedience to Allah are virtues that guarantees long-lasting success without negative consequences. This and the need to prioritize the worship of Allah were issues re-echoed at today's Jumat service at Dawa Community Mosque. Here are the details of that report.
Day after day, societal values continues on its gradual erosion, with many eager to get rich by hook or crook. This thorny issue remains an unwanted narrative, according to Imam Dikrulai of Adawa Community Mosque, due to the fact that the fear of Allah is gradually going into extinction among the people. According to the cleric, right from the days of Prophet Musa, Allah has always been warning humans to remain from sin and other antisocial activities in what is the 10 Commandments anchored on obedience to Allah and love for humanity. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in his teachings also re-echoed the need for faithfuls to always be on the path of truth at all the time. One of the most heinous crimes, according to the Imam, is indulging in idolatry practice which invokes the wrath of Allah. For the youth, the admonition is for them to stop attaining wealth through fetish and dubious means, which has their futuristic consequences. He urged them to devote time and energy to the service of Allah, rather than dissipate their energy on antisocial activities. For the faithfuls and clerics, the message is timely.
It's just what is happening in the country right now. If you can hear the Imam, what is he saying? It's just for we, the youth, and the we upcoming generation are behind us. We should just have the focus, and we should just be patient, and everything is just from God.
Life is taking a turn that is not understood by any good man, any reasonable person, any responsible human being, because nobody has rest of mind anywhere. We have no confidence. Day and night comes the same. People kill human beings as if they are not human beings. And upbringing went a long way to destroy life. If father and mother are not responsible, have no reason to fear Allah, have no studies of the principle of Islam, for example, they will not do good.
The Imam had earlier led the faithfuls in prayers and supplications to Almighty Allah. In Ijebu ode, Joel Pukbola, NTA News.
Two persons have reportedly lost their lives in a gas tanker explosion at Ohoro Community, Uweru Town in Ugeli North local government of Delta State. Governor Ifeanyi Okowa has assessed the level of damage and calls for urgent investigation on the tragic incident. Tessie Coker.
Over 20 houses were said to have been gutted by fire when the gas tanker exploded. An eyewitness account disclosed that two trucks conveying gas and diesel ran into each other at the Ohoro Junction before the explosion occurred. It took the efforts of the State Fire Service to contain the spread of the raging inferno.
We record a minimum of 2-3 fires in 2-3 days in Warri. So moving Warri out is another problem. But when we got the information this month, the day for here, informing that the situation was under control.
While commiserating with the communities on the tragedy, Governor Kowa gave assurance that government will take proactive steps to cushion the effect on the victims.
We will try to take the proper documentation of the community and see what to be able to do to give some level of assistance. So Commissioner Ijebu worked to sit down and do some documentation along the last properly of the houses that were impacted. So we'll see what's going to be done to assist.
He, however, urged the fire service to ensure quick evacuation of the tankers to avoid another tragedy. Inugeli, Tessie, Koka, NTA News.
And that does it on the news tonight. The Yoruba language translation of the news comes up immediately after the break with Shegun Adekoya. Thanks for staying with us.